just execution?
Just execution. We had some mishaps, and we just didn't get the job done.
How tough is it for you just being, when you came back and senior year and all that to end like this? How difficult is it for you?
Happy New Year and welcome to a special edition of the post-game show, Tigers Roar, all that good stuff. I'm Tommy Krysan along with the Budman, Buddy Sanji. We made the decision weeks ago not to go on January 1 with the Rose Bowl playing. Here we are tonight. We thought we'd sit here and talk about LSU Notre Dame and the Citrus Bowl, which we will do. But as the world of Orgeron turns, the new soap opera out on the campus of LSU, Dave Aranda, Matt Canada, who knows what's going on. We got plenty for you. We know the Tigers are taking on the Wildcats and SEC hoops over at the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. It's going to be a wild and crazy night because it's been a wild and crazy January to get 2018 going. Buddy, enough of me. How are you?
Good to see you, TK. Kind of missed doing the post game, and naturally, we had to have a little common sense, folks. When LSU is playing in the Citrus Bowl, of course, back-to-back years. Last year, a real nice story to end the year, TK, with Aranda shutting down Louisville and the LSU defense making the Heisman Trophy winner look poor. And then you have this matchup with Notre Dame, and we all know that the weather was not good. It was nippy, it was chilly, it was rainy, and boy, oh boy, it is amazing to perception that people have of a coach and a program on just what happens in a bowl game. And like a guy told me today, had LSU defended that last play and won the game, everybody's patting Ed Orgeron on the back for getting 10 wins and having a great recovery from a tough month of September. Well, as we all know, it didn't work that way. DBU gave up a ridiculous play. I always tell the college guys, if you're getting beat on a deep ball late, tackle him. In college, it's 15 yards. It's not a foul possession at the spot of the foul, TK. So probably, but then again, he pushed off. Notre Dame wins. Tommy, they got beat by Clemson 4 or 5 years ago by a point. They got beat when they didn't use Fournette in that game. He blew up the last time they played Notre Dame, and once again, a 4-point loss. Of course, that has sat very, very poorly. We've got Manda's sausage all around the studio, and it's just grilling up right now. It's so spicy because the latest thing today, and folks, we are multitasking here. We're watching LSU and Kentucky play basketball. We'll give you updates. We're talking about what's going to happen with the coordinators, and we're also going to recap the game. But it gave everybody a totally negative perception of how that thing played out. And, you know, sometimes there's overreaction, but that's what LSU fans do. They love their Tigers, and you sit on a loss, TK, for 8 months, it doesn't fly in this town.
I'm going to go back to a quote a good friend of yours and mine, Tim Brando, had this one years ago. He said, the best thing about college football is its fans. The worst thing about college football is its fans. Great quote by our good buddy Tim Brando many, many years ago. I want to go back to something you said. That fine line that exists between the outhouse and the penthouse. Okay, they go up 3, 17-14. Yeah, we'll get into it, whether they should have handed it off and ran the ball. Aside from that, they go up 17-14. If they win that game, that pass isn't completed or whatever happens, and I know if a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his butt. But my point is the difference of the mindset of the fans, the media, I'm sure they grumbling in the coach's office and the players, and you know, it is just that thin of a line between the outhouse and the penthouse, and LSU Tiger fans have never seen it more defined than they have in the last 3 days.
Well, look, from a PR standpoint, we all know what has been going on nationally, and Tommy, suffice to say, the world of college football was a little surprised this year. First of all, what happened is that you got 2 teams from the same conference into the Final Four of the CFP. Most people before the year says they're trying to stay away from that. It worked out. Alabama gets the mulligan again, doesn't have to play in the SEC championship. Were they one of the 4 best teams in the country? I think everybody probably agrees with that. But then you look at LSU, and everybody, we talked about it, Tommy, 7 straight games to finish this year, all in the conference, and yet 3 of those teams that LSU played at the back end all got rid of their coaches. Now, look, give LSU credit. Even though it wasn't pretty, they beat Florida in the swamp by a point. Give Dave Aranda credit for the Auburn win, and this is why I think he was so important. He moved Grant Delpit into the box. And when they made that adjustment in the second half, he shut down Auburn, basically helped win the game. That's why Aranda is so important. He keeps you in every ball game. And, of course, we know how it all finished out. Everybody's happy and lucky and saying, let's go to Orlando. And then to lay an egg like that when you had such horrific special teams play. And here's the last thing, Tommy. Les made a great living over here being the Mad Hatter. When you scream into the cameras, we coming, and then you on the 4-inch yard line and you kick the field goal on a very tough angle with very inconsistent kickers, that let a lot of people down, because if you coming, then you need to go for it, because that shows the confidence in the team. The play calling was certainly questionable.
And that was one of the worst calls in the history of LSU football. And had they won the game 17-14, I would still say it was one of the worst calls. They would have dodged a bullet. They didn't dodge it here. Buddy, if 1 month, let's go, what's today, first week of January?
Yeah.
If right before Christmas, if I'd have told you, buddy, I think Dave Aranda's going to be gone and Matt Canada's going to be here, you'd have checked me for a temperature.
Well, look, we still don't know how it's going to work out. All day today, of course, is Wednesday. We're watching LSU and play in Kentucky in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. It is an electric atmosphere. We'll continue to give you updates. We'll talk about all the stuff with Aranda and Canada. But I still think Canada is not going to end up here. I don't think Ed wants to run that. And I think going forward, they will figure out a way to negotiate that split. But the rumors today, TK, starting 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, that A&M was coming back a second time to entice Dave Aranda. And the money that was rumored to be out there, almost up to $3 million a year. In fact, some people putting out 4 years guaranteed at $3 million, $12 million guaranteed. Look, if it comes to that, I don't think LSU is going to be able to match that kind of thing. But we know what he means, and so a lot of back and forth. At 3 o'clock, we thought Aranda might be gone. Here it is, 7:30, 8 o'clock now, 8 o'clock, 8:01. I'm getting reports that LSU is thinking that they're going to be able to get him to stay. So it's a fluid situation, but this is very important because coordinators are really they're the generals that you got to have them in the battle. I mean, you have to.
Well, and let me point out, there's nothing official yet. There's a lot of rumors out there. I can promise you, as we sit here on Wednesday night, I'm monitoring Twitter. Buddy and I both have our phones. If something shakes, we'll pass it along. You may see it before we do in the world of social media, but just keep that in mind. We're on top of it if it should happen. Coming up in about a little while on the program, Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com. He'll update us on recruiting and anything that he may think or know about the coordinator situations at LSU. Keep in mind, we're here on a Wednesday night. If you're catching this on YouTube Thursday morning, or you have a rebroadcast on Pelican Sports TV or the ETEL cable system, you got to keep that in mind if we say something that changes before the end of the weekend. So, phone lines are open. We welcome your calls, 225-928-4910. It's on your screen, 225-928-4910, or send us a text message. They're starting to roll in right now. Text message line is area code 504-689-9246. Here we go. Here's a text message already. Buddy, round to shoot, then we'll do a break. Do you think LSU would win the game if they went for a touchdown instead of a field goal? Well, we don't know that, but regardless, it's tied. You got to go for the touchdown there, in my opinion and the opinion of many others.
I will never forget Nick Saban, who was very conservative as an offensive play caller, especially early in his career here. And they played Tennessee in the SEC championship game, and he freaked everybody out. I don't know. I'm sure you remember it. They're on their own 29-yard line, and Rohan Davey sneaks, and they stop him. But then there was a penalty they didn't call anyway. LSU ends up giving up a field goal, not a touchdown. And everybody on that team that we interviewed the next couple of weeks, TK, said, you know what? He had our back. we all bought into everything he was saying when he showed that he was confident. And that does not necessarily often happen with Nick, even to this day. TK, I thought that, first of all, he kicked it so fast. Now, you know, they just had missed a 22-yarder and a 36-yarder, and you got a sharp angle. You saw the angle. Thank goodness Gosselin made it. But I just thought if you had questions, call a timeout, talk about it. You can't tell me, and this frustrates me all year long, why don't you have Darrell Williams and Geis in the same backfield at the same time? Make them defend both guys, spread them out, but everybody bunches up, tries to get the quarterback to be shoved in by the fullback or a D lineman, and I hate that play calling at the goal line. That all being said, LSU has not been good inside the red zone, and in this particular game, TK, had a bunch of plays and only got 17 points from Notre Dame. They've got to address that going forward, regardless of who the coordinator will be.
I'll just say this, 4th and inches.
You got to go.
From the goal line, you give the ball to Darius Geis.
Sure.
That's what you do. And if he doesn't get in, maybe you're not the team you thought you were. But in my opinion and opinion of many others, you got to do that. All right, phone calls, text messages, let's fire them up. With Buddy Sanji, I'm Tommy Krysan, the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show / Tigers Roar. We're coming back with your calls and your texts right after this pause on Pelican Sports TV. Stay with us. Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including OptiMap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Spread the roar. That's right, Tigers Roar. Each Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans. Replays are Thursday through Saturday, and the show is available at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Tommy Krysan and Jordy Holtberg will have the latest on LSU football, LSU sports, and sports from across Louisiana. Spread the roar. Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
We continue with the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show. LSU getting near to half against Kentucky over at the PMAC. Got a slight lead. We'll update you when we get to halftime. Phone number on the screen, 225-928-4910. Text message line is area code 504-689-9246. Let's go to Frank in Baton Rouge. Frank, you're on the Post-Game Show.
y'all doing?
Hey, Frank. Happy New Year, Frank.
Man, I'm disappointed in that Notre Dame game. I don't know, and I think this ruckus about who's going to stay as coaching and who ain't going to stay, I think that's hurting LSU on these last few recruits. I really do.
Well, wait a minute, Frank. Now, there's a dead period right now, but it is hurting LSU on the national perception, and I think a lot of people are very quick. The Sharks are in the waters right now, and there's a lot of assumptions. We're watching the basketball game, and the Crawler just had the Houston Chronicle in Houston saying that A&M is expected to name Aranda as their next defensive coordinator. We hear, while this is going on right now, LSU's doing everything that they can to retain him. Regardless, the guy's going to make a lot of money. But, Frank, you know, one of the things we talked about since the start of the year, TK, and since we've been back, and we hope everybody had a blessed Christmas and a happy New Year and a safe, and let's hope that 18 is going to be a great year for all of us. But, Frank, just on a few plays, the difference between one loss and one win, their perception of your program and the coaches and the players goes up and down so much. And, TK, like a guy tells me today, Frank, he says, look, if Dante Jackson and the other DB make the play, LSU wins 10 games, and everybody's pretty happy, right?
Right.
I agree with you,
but they didn't.
Tackling, I mean, they had two guys right there, and both of them messed up.
Yep.
You know, let's face it. And I agree him going for 3 points. If you got the 11th best defense in the nation, you ought to be able to hold them. But it just goes to show you, you can be the number 2 defense in the nation, and it still won with a play like that.
Well, what I'm trying to say, Frank, is that the fact that play went the way it did solicited a lot more and different opinions about LSU and the direction. Now, ever since then, let's just look at what's happened. Austin Thomas was an organizing guy that did a great job for LSU, and he left and then went to Tennessee, and that didn't work out, so I don't know where he's going to end up. And now you got all these rumors about Canada. TK, Frank, that doesn't help LSU's national street cred when you put out LSU is expected to part terms with the offensive coordinator after the game. That just doesn't make anybody look good. You should be more professional than that. And then Jimbo and A&M are throwing all this money at Aranda, so it is very, very precarious times right now. And let's just hope, Frank, that when we talk with you next year on the show, LSU is happy with their 2 coordinators because, you know, it could be 2 new coordinators, or certainly there could be 1. They still have to get a special teams guy in, and they got to hire a couple other coaches. So, Frank, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but right now, a lot of people thinking that, you know, LSU football is going in a bad direction.
I agreed with what you said earlier. Now, Texas A&M's got some deep pockets, and LSU ain't going to be able to match them. I mean, it's just that simple.
Well, at some point, it's not worth it to match it. But like I said on the Auburn game, and look, John Chavis did it for less, even though he played that previous defense and cost less than LSU some games. But one thing about LSU when Dave Aranda's been here, they've been in basically every game. Other than Mississippi State this year, look at Alabama last year. They lost the game 10-0. And you look at the close games, they've been in every game. Aranda's that good. Statistically, he's that good. But offensively, TK, we know LSU's got to come to some kind of agreement. You can't have all this infighting. I think the players handled that really well, considering the way and Canada did not like each other this year.
I agree with you, and my hat's off to Etlin, too. I mean, the man, he gives 100%. I mean, you can't knock him for that. And but he's just not. He's not a quarterback that's going to lead you to a championship.
Yeah, Danny Etlin is a guy that frustrates you at times for some of the plays he can't make. But TK, his stats ended up this year 16 touchdowns and 2 INTs. I think every coach in the country would take that ratio.
No, his numbers are impressive. But as Frank said, is he going to win you a championship?
He can't, yeah.
No. Is he going to play in the NFL? No. But he gave everything he had. You got to tip your hat to him. All coaches ever do is ask a player, give me the best you got. I think Danny Etling gave the best he had, and that's all you can ask.
Well, I agree with both of y'all, and let me go so some other people can call and talk to you.
All right,
Thank you,
Frank.
Frank.
Happy New Year, buddy. Caller of the year.
All right, buddy, a text message question. Looking at the 2018 schedule, LSU will be lucky to go 6-6. Our thoughts. You do have Miami on a Sunday night in Arlington. Georgia is the other team from the East on the rotator that come into Baton Rouge. I want to say October 13th. So you know it's a tough schedule. You know we got some new coaches in the Western Division. New coach down in Florida, but he's familiar because it's Stan Mullen. He was in the West. So certainly, but I think that's getting a little bit ahead. Right now, it's all about putting a staff together.
Yeah. And finishing recruiting.
Whoever the coordinators are going to be, recruit like heck until Wednesday, February 7th.
5 weeks from today.
That's the primo, thing on the list to do right now.
Hey, I called out Duop Reef on the show the last couple of days and said I thought he had to play better. He's got 13 points and 6 rebounds. At halftime, LSU with a 5-point lead, 36-31 over Kentucky. If you're waiting to watch us and then watch the LSU-Kentucky game, I apologize for spilling the beans at halftime, but the crowd is into it. And now this is somebody you want to admire, and you like to weigh the direction the program is headed. This young man, Will Wade, and I call him young because he's 35-ish, he's got Nick Saban traits, but a much better personality and much happier. And I think LSU basketball is going a heck of a ride. They're going to lose some this year, but they're going to beat some people. I don't know if they'll hold on, but Will Wade, everybody is fired up about him. You know Coach Maneri, P-Money, is going to be expected to get back to.
I need some baseball, buddy.
Yeah, well, you're going to have media day in probably what 4 weeks, whatever.
Yeah, I'll be out there.
And then of course, as we said, 5 weeks from tonight or today, the signing period, the second signing period starts, and LSU is hoping for Patrick Surtain Jr. and 3 others, and we'll let Mike talk about those guys when he comes on.
Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com will be joining us in just a little while. Hey, it's halftime. Ring up the phone number. Send us a text message. Let's have some fun here on the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show in the Tigers Roar slot. Buddy Sanji, Tommy Christ saying we are back after this pause on Pelican Sports TV and WUBR, CBS Sports Radio, Baton Rouge.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Woodburners, serving South Louisiana since 1977, is a family-owned and operated company with over 30 years of experience. They're the fireplace experts, providing upscale products at an affordable price. Fireplaces, glass doors, wood stoves and stove chimneys, mantles, screens, gas logs, and tool sets. Visit online at woodburnersinc.com. Call 225-752-2590 or stop by 10510 Airline Highway in Baton Rouge.
Hooper Road Car Care in Central has been serving customers for over 24 years. Locally owned by Donald and Gina Gaspard, they provide all types of car care, including brakes, alignment, tune-ups, oil changes, AC service, transmission, computer diagnostic, and much more. Hooper Road Car Care also provides towing services. Call 225-262-7127. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, 9695 Hooper Road in Central.
Hi, I'm Roger Kador. I'm here to tell you about Smith, Shanklin, and Sosa. You won't find them on billboards. but you'll find them in the courtroom where real lawyers are. You see, billboards do not solve cases. Real trial lawyers do. So if you're hurt and need a lawyer, call 225-223-6333.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com. We continue with the Pelican Sports post-game show / Tigers Roar. You know the drill, Buddy Sanji.
Sorry on the phone.
Buddy, we did this last year. The game was January 1, and we rocked on the Wednesday night after that, so that might be the thing now. We'll see. Who knows if they're in a bowl game next year, but they should be. But, you know, I thought I'd throw that out there. Now, Buddy, you got some breaking news on the Dave Aranda thing. I'm giving you the floor. Take it.
We just, there's a lot of information out there. I just told you about the Houston Chronicle, and I know the Daily Advertiser is also putting this out. What we have been told is that, and I believe this information is that Dave Aranda is sitting down with his family tonight. He's got lucrative offers from both Texas A&M and LSU, and I think as a family they make a decision tonight. Most people, the way they handle their business, sit there and pray about it and ask God to give them some direction and insight on what to do. And that will probably go down sometime tomorrow morning. So I think that what I was told, LSU was very fair in their offer to him. I do know this: his wife likes it here, the kids like it here, the family likes it here. But on the other hand, Texas A&M has a lot of Uzis. They've got a lot of artillery.
They got more money than anybody in the conference.
They got more money because of their endowments and all the things that they get from their sugar daddies and their boosters. So it will be interesting. I said it today. I think that if it's not money and if it's happiness, he stays. But if it's too good an offer, the other thing that you have to take into consideration here is that Jimbo is over in A&M. He's got a guaranteed contract. Coach over here has had a little bit of a rough ride. Of course, now that the interim tag is taken off. But you talk to people every day. From a perception standpoint, this is really a big coup if LSU can fight off this challenge.
I got one comment that I'm going to go on both sides of the fence. What you just said, if Aranda stayed and Orgeron got dismissed next December, okay, we're playing if right here, hypothetical, Aranda's going to get a job. He's 41 years old. Somebody's going to hire him, okay? So, because you made a comment about the guaranteed thing for Fisher, Fisher's going to be there at least 4 more years, unless he breaks an NCAA rule.
Well, probably more.
You don't, yeah. I said at least 4. So, but you don't know that with Orgeron. Now, let me go on both sides of the coin here, okay?
All right.
This is why LSU needs to keep Dave Aranda. If you take a snapshot of this football program from August 1st until tonight, January 3, because of that and everything that's happened, and we don't have to rehash all the crossing the T's and dotting the I's, they need to keep Dave Aranda for some program stability, for the image of it, for the perception locally, nationally, and for recruiting purposes. On the other side of the coin, if Dave Aranda chooses to go to A&M, since Nick Saban arrived in Baton Rouge, 2000? Mm-hmm. LSU's defense, other than 2008, among the leaders in the nation, statistically.
Really good.
So LSU football was here before Dave Aranda. It'll be here after Dave Aranda. If he chooses to go, then the burden falls on Coach O's desk to go find the best defensive coordinator he can find and bring him in here, and hopefully it works. So, it's a both sides of the thing there. But I think if you ask me to vote, hey, TK, what do you really think? I think they need to keep him here for a list of reasons that I don't have enough time to write down for you.
And look, folks, a lot of this stuff is being processed. It's been processed all day long with different rumors and innuendos. We do know this for a fact. A&M came at Dave Aranda with a bunch of guaranteed money. They tried to get him the first time. Look, the guy's going to be making over $2 million. The other thing I picked up on my information I just got is that you Tiger fans, look, you hope that he stays, but they felt like they made a very competitive and as good offer as they can. And if he chooses to leave, then LSU didn't fumble the ball here. I was a little concerned because, you know, you hate to bring this up, and this has been one of my sticking points for the last couple of years, but F. King Alexander, as a chancellor and president, does have a jealousy towards athletics, and he just about a month or so ago was quoted as saying, I think football coaches make too much money. All I can tell the king is this. You're not going to get 100,000 people in Tiger Stadium to watch Danny Etlin take an English test. Whether you like it or not, athletics is more important than the academic side of LSU for most fans, and that is what it is. They're student athletes. But come on, TK, it's nice to see them have 90% graduation for the football players. When Nick Saban came over here in 2000, it was at 50-something%. So they have done a great job in the academic side with the Cox Center and all that. The other problem we've had is that Joe Oliva overpays generally. And, you know, I'm not in those boardrooms and negotiating tables, but when you play Matt Canada 1.5 and you're paying Aranda, who's got an incredible resume, 1.8, you know, Aranda probably feels like he should be worth more. So to me, I'm thinking Dave Aranda, wherever he's at next year, is going to make somewhere in the 2.4 or 2.5 range.
Well,
and I think he'll be worth every penny.
Going back to your thing about the fans, former Chancellor Mark Emmert made the comment one time, if you imagine your university as this huge, beautiful mansion, the front porch is the football team. That's what people see first, okay? It could have a million great things in the mansion, but everybody drives by, they're going to see the front porch, which is the football team. That's the image. Now, back to your thing about A&M. A&M wanted John Chavis, they got him.
Yep.
A&M wanted Jimbo Fisher, they got him. I'm just saying.
Well, it'll be interesting, and look, I know that Coach Aranda is a class guy regardless of what he does, and I hope everybody perceives him to be that way, because I've never heard anybody not talk about it, and even Coach O has been talking about the loyalty. This is not the first time A&M has come after him, but I am happy to tell you what we've got, the information I've got in the last half hour to an hour, is that they did make a very competitive offer. It's been back and forth all day long. What we're hearing again now is that they're going to sleep on it. You know, media outlets, how many times have we said it? People would rather be first and wrong than second and right. And there's been a outlet in Lafayette, an outlet in Houston that are saying, now they may have changed the little crawling language. They said they are expected to name Dave Aranda. A&M thought that they were going to be able to pull this off. But once again, TK, this is one of the parts of the things we never talk about. You're uprooting another family. And coaches and their wives and their kids, they have to go with the ebb and the flow.
Well, they're in the business.
They're in the business.
And they know it happens.
But I do think those kids and that wife and that family's happy right here. So if it works out and he stays, all is well. But LSU, I think, has done a respectable job, from what I've been told, about trying to give them the best deal. Look, Dave Aranda is going to make a lot more money next year regardless. And after paying Canada 1.5, I think Dave Aranda is worth every bit of 2.5.
All right, and look, it was said, if something shakes before we get done with tonight's program, we'll pass it along. Jordy Holberg will be on at 7 in the morning tomorrow on WUBR. Probably nothing happens while he's on the air, but if it did, he would talk about it. Buddy's on from 1 to 3 tomorrow. I'll be on from 3 to 5 tomorrow, so if anything shakes before or during, we're going to have it and let you comment.
And Mike's going to have an update coming up in 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, Mike Scarborough will be with us shortly. Text message, is there anyone else you can hire to develop a quarterback? That's a 12-year question. Other than Mettenberger, they haven't had a quarterback that they need to consistently win championships. Well, you got to say, you know, Matt Flynn got it done. So other than Flynn and Mettenberger, but Flynn was recruited by Saban, if I remember correctly.
That's correct.
But since then, other than Mettenberger falling in Les Miles' lap, they haven't had the type of quarterback they needed to have. And they've had some guys that were good guys and made good plays and did a lot of good things, but he didn't have a championship guy.
Well, and TK, look, I know Alan always takes me to task on this and says I'm wrong because the center touches it every play, but the quarterback basically touches it every play. Now, we all know the Wildcat is becoming cool, and Darrell Williams was successful with it against Bama and also in this last bowl game. but the quarterback is going to have his hands on the football almost every play. And TK, for the life of me, before I die, I just want to see a couple more things. Can LSU learn how to execute a screen pass? The Saints do it unbelievably well. Can LSU learn how to pitch and catch? And if you do land another one of these top receivers, they're going to have some stud wide receivers. They've got to play pitch and catch better to have a chance to have a big year in 18.
James in Lafayette, you're on the postgame show.
Yeah, how y'all doing tonight? Happy New Year.
You too, James. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I missed the first 10, 15 minutes of the show, so maybe y'all talked about some of this stuff. I don't even know all the ins and outs of why we're losing our offensive coordinator, who I thought Orgeron had brought him in here. This is the guy Orgeron wanted, but whatever, something that's not working out. I'm really kind of more worried about, even from the beginning, is Orgeron really a big-time head coach? I mean, I'm going to just come down to something really small. Y'all might have talked about this. Y'all probably did in the first 10 minutes. The call on the goal line with 2 minutes left. Did y'all talk about it?
Yeah, we talked about that, and we kind of looked at both sides, James. And look, the question that you pose, TK, if you look at the fact that he was not employed as a football coach 4 years ago, and you look at the fact that nobody else interviewed him for a head coaching position, I don't think anybody can say Coach O is a big-time, big-name coach right now. He has done appreciably better.
There was so much excitement when we got him.
Well,
which I thought was the excitement was just maybe a little bit out of place. I mean, it was nice. Everybody was ready for Miles to go, but from the beginning, anybody with a head had to kind of question, is Coach Orgeron really going to be the guy to lead us to the promised land? And that's what we wanted. And I'm looking now, I mean, I don't know, the thing with the offensive coordinator, that call on the goal line, you know, it's not a playoff game. This is a bowl game.
Exactly.
Now, James, let me go back to your 4th and goal thing. And this is what I'm going to tell you what makes it worse, okay? In the postgame show, when asked about it, he said, well, the other time we were down there on 4th and goal, we got a 5-yard procedure penalty, and we didn't line up, kick the field goal. Duh, that's got nothing to do with this. If you line up 4th and inches and you get a false start, then you kick the field goal if they move it back to the 5-yard line. I mean, he just blew himself out of the water with a total dumb answer to a good question that was a fair question.
Exactly right. At that position, 2 to 3 inches from the goal line, so very close, or a sneak with that. Like it doesn't even have to be that. You got to give your guy, you owe it to your guy to give him a chance to pretty much drive the spike through the heart.
Or you let Geis race for the pylon, and if he thinks he's going to be cut off, he lowers his shoulder and drives into the end zone. He's an NFL running back.
I mean, it's that kind of a game. And if you don't make it, I could go, if you don't make it, they're stuck on the goal line. But it's that kind of game. It's not like NFL playoff game. It's a bowl game. It's a culmination.
That's the other point. Nothing was on the line.
You go for it right there. It was a small thinking. And then when you look, they lined up for the field goal with this vicious angle. You know, and your field goal kick has been poor anyway. But one other thing you mentioned.
Well, we did mention that, James. We did mention that all the trouble that they had with the field goals at that game and the sharp angle, it was almost a little bit of a gamble because of the angle on the kick. Look, as we were talking about Coach O, we all know that he had a bad stint 10 years ago with 3 horrible years at Ole Miss. And during the interim status, he kind of shed a little bit of that reputation. And when they came back to get to 9-3 at the end of the season, people wanted to believe. But as we know, Bobby Bowden used to tell me this, guys, the distance between the halo over the head and the noose around the neck is a short distance. And James, that one game has flipped people's opinion to where, what have we gotten into? And then the way they handled some of the PR with Canada and the coach, and now this thing with Aranda, I think it's safe to say that if Aranda does leave for Texas A&M, TK and James, LSU is going to take a big hit nationally for the next 3-4 days and the coming weeks.
Well, and the major question is the effect on recruiting. That's the big thing.
But you only got 4 in this class, but going forward, yeah.
Still, I mean, the effect on recruiting, you know.
Going forward, sure.
You know, one thing Tommy mentioned, he mentioned the post game, Orgeron's comments not being appropriate as far as going forward or settling for the field goal. You know, also he talked about how we weren't able to convert in goal line situations generally, and he made some comment like, "I'll just have to look at the film." Come on, coach. You're the head coach. We had trouble with goal line situations through the year or something like that.
You're right.
What do you mean you're going to have to look at the film? That's not a big-time coach answer.
No, it's not, James. Here's what Coach here's what Coach Orgeron needs to do here in the offseason. And nobody's heard me say this before. He needs to go sit down with Dale Brown, spend a couple of hours, and learn how to deal with the media. Dale Brown was a master at diversion. He could run you away from the topic. He could tap dance around any question. Dale Brown had the gift of gab, okay? And I think Ed Orgeron would be well served to sit down with Coach Brown or anyone else who has that gift of gab and learn a little better way to deal with the media. The media can be a big help to a coach, a big, big help to a coach, okay? Now, and I don't mean winning games on Saturday night, but in the perception of the program, the media can play a significant role. Huh?
Yeah, you're right. It's not just the coach, it's the program.
Yeah, it's the perception of the program. If everybody in the Louisiana media would come out and say, Ed Orgeron should be fired, guess what most of the fans are going to think? That Ed Orgeron should be fired. If everybody said, give Ed Orgeron an extension and a raise, that's what most of the fans are going to think. The media is the medium between the fans and the program.
And James, we talked about this since the game. To me, I think the culture of the program, the discipline or the lack thereof. I mean, DJ Chark makes an incredibly silly decision to field a punt. And then as the coach was chewing on him, he pushes away, and yet they put him back for second and a third punt return, of course, which he both fumbled. LSU was lucky. This condoning of bad behavior and letting all this yapping continue to go on, I just wish, I want them to be excited and have fun, but TK, I think they've had a little bit too much mustard on the hot dog, and start winning some big games before you yap so much.
Buddy, you remember when Nick Saban had all of us over to his house for the little barbecue?
Sure.
Okay, he got it. Did he ever have a second one? No. He had us all over here right after he got in town to his house, all the food and drink you want. It was a fun night, about 50 of us there. He took time to go talk to everybody. He knew how to use the media. Okay, so Orgeron could use some lessons in that. I suggest Coach Brown, and Coach Brown watches this show a lot, although he's at the basketball game, I'm sure. If he catches the replay, I'm sure he'll let me know that he heard what I said.
Well, just one last comment. I know I'm on the line real quick, but
go ahead.
Well, you know, a lot of people going to the game, people I talk to, oh, we got this game. We got Notre Dame. I didn't think so. Notre Dame was 9-3 team. Played a pretty confident schedule. This is a big game for us, a Citrus Bowl game. It stands alone. And the fact that the game kind of stands alone, it's an important game, I was worried. And I don't think we came through, that Orgeron and the program came through as if we were a big game, big-time team there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about going forward. I'm going to leave y'all with that thought.
All right, James,
thank you
good
very
call,
much,
as
James.
always.
Appreciate that. Kentucky has narrowed the gap a little bit. We're going to take a break, come back. Still to come about 10 minutes from now, Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com. You don't want to miss that. All of Mike's thoughts plus the recruiting information. This is the Pelican Sports Postgame Show on Pelican Sports TV and WUBR, CBS Sports Radio. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Relief Window. Experience Relief Window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and signing company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Continue with the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show. Short segment here, then we'll break and get to Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com. We've talked about a lot of things already tonight, and we got a long way to go. Let's talk about Matt Canada. You know, all the reports right before they left for Orlando, he flies back with the team. According to Coach O, he called the plays. I think that's what happened. There was a lot of innuendo about that as well. But, buddy, that has now fallen down, the lower end of the radar with all the Dave Aranda stuff and whatnot. But that's also still got to get resolved, buddy.
Yeah. It's, look, I described it as a square peg in a round hole. I think that all of the insiders that are close to O, who were in the media, Mike Detillier and many others, pretty much said, look, the boss wants a different offense, and that's what he's going to get. The problem that you have, as I alluded earlier, to the overpay, and no disrespect to you, Coach Canada, because whenever you are working a business deal, you get as much money as you can. But TK, for him to get 1.5 was a little bit much after what he had done so far. We know that he has been quite a few places. He's a little different now. All that motion and all that, we saw that there was a conflict earlier in the year. Coach O wanted to simplify it in the Troy game. They put a goose egg in the offensive tote board at halftime, and so they went back. It's been back and forth the whole year with those guys trying to get along in the whole 9 yards. Bottom line is that I firmly do believe at some point in the near future that Dave Aranda will make a decision tomorrow morning. But Matt Canada, I don't expect him to be back.
I was asked this question numerous times, or even down on Eric Asher's show in New Orleans. Is the relationship repairable? Okay, and in my opinion, no. Based on some inside information I have, you know what I'm talking about with that, and everything Coach Orgeron said from the post game against A&M going forward. I don't know. It's two grown men. If they got to work together, can they sit down, shut the door, turn the phones off, and come out of there on the same page? I don't think that can happen here. But unfortunately, it might have to. But I'm going to side with you. When it's all said and done, you got a month before signing day, a month plus. I don't think Matt Canada will be the offensive coordinator.
No, I don't either. And look, Coach O has basically said, even when he was the interim, He wants to go back to what they did at USC. He likes the fullback. He likes the I formation. He likes the prototypical quarterback. Now, you got Brennan, who's the pro-style quarterback. You got Lowell Narcisse, who's run-pass option. And Justin McMillan has said that he will stick around.
The lefty, yeah.
And the lefty, who was the backup last year and didn't do much in the spring game, and we didn't see him again.
Right, let me ask you this, buddy.
Very little depth at quarterback. But now with this hanging over their heads, this is going to all happen very quickly. And TK, I think, most people are thinking that Steve Ensminger is the fallback guy if Coach O gets his way.
Let me ask you, can you envision this scenario, buddy? A reassignment of Canada. Hey, dude, you're the quarterback coach, you're the wide receiver coach, somebody else is running the offense. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Don't see it. We're going to take a break, come back. Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com going to give us the very latest on recruiting. And, of course, he'll chime in on everything that's going on in the football offices, the athletic director's office, the president's office, your office. It'll be all that stuff with Mike Scarborough right after this pause on the Pelican Sports Postgame Show. Pelican Sports TV, WUBR, CBS Sports Radio. Stay with us.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including Optimap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
Woodburners, serving South Louisiana since 1977, is a family-owned and operated company with over 30 years of experience. They're the fireplace experts, providing upscale products at an affordable price. Fireplaces, glass doors, wood stoves and stove chimneys, mantles, screens, gas logs, and tool sets. Visit online at woodburnersinc.com. Call 225-752-2590 or stop by 10510 Airline Highway in Baton Rouge.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hi, I'm Jordy Helper for Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway. Chairman's Reserve steaks, their pork, their chicken, their seafood, top of the line. Primo barbecue pits, Icy Tech coolers. They can go anywhere and cater anything for you. Go to 751-7665 to call Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market, where good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
We continue with the post-game show on a wild and wacky Wednesday as we roll into 2018. We welcome aboard, as we've been doing for many months, Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com. Good evening, Mike. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Happy New Year.
Same to you, Mike, and everybody that's a part of TigerBait.com. Mike, we do want to talk some recruiting, but first I want to get your thoughts on everything that we've all been churning through all day long on the Dave Aranda story.
Well, it's at the end of the day, what can you gather from the outside looking in? What's the narrative when Austin Thomas pulls back, he wants out and didn't want to come back if he could come back? Getting rid of Canada at a huge expense, plus the $650. People forget about the $650,000 that you had to pay Pitt to buy him out. People forget that. So you add that to the buyout money, and now if the money separating LSU and A&M on Aranda isn't as big as we think, then you've got another issue. Then you wonder, well, what does that say about what Aranda is seeing behind closed doors as to why he might want to go to A&M?
Throw in the $133,000 a month Les Miles is getting, and Joe Oliva maybe cash strapping this budget.
Yeah, and we don't even know where's the Chavis lawsuit. We haven't heard anything about that.
That was settled out of court.
Yeah, and I don't know how long it'll take us
and they all had to swear not to say what happened.
Yeah.
So there was some type of settlement there, but I don't think that's big money. That was a couple $100,000.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's going to be very interesting. I don't think the offensive coordinator thing really has to be settled anytime soon, because if you've got all the signees in the early period, you've got 4 or 5 guys. The only worry that I see is, let's say Aranda, gets heads out the door on the way to A&M. Well, then you've got Patrick Surtain going to Alabama for an official visit. How easy is it going to be for Saban to get in his head about choosing Alabama over LSU, especially if he's visiting a weekend after LSU, if Alabama wins a national championship next Monday?
Well, Mike, Tommy and I were talking about that a little while ago, and you got to see that Coach Aranda is looking, and he obviously knows what it's been like the last couple of years here, and he knows that Jimbo's got a new lease on life and a guaranteed 10-year contract. And I think that they've taken great pride. TK and I were talking, LSU defense since 2000, other than the year they had the co-defensive coordinator with Bradley Dale Pivotal and Doug Mallory, LSU defense has been top 15, sometimes top 10, a bunch of those
Top 5
times.
a couple times.
Top 5 statistically, and that's the importance that we've been stressing, Mike, that Dave Aranda keeps you in every game. And this year,
look, that's heck, we've been talking about it for weeks now. What we project LSU to do next year, with all the question marks on offense, regardless of who the offensive coordinator is going to be, and the one factor that makes you start giving the benefit of the doubt, like we know that the offense could really have a big struggle, but in the back of your mind, when you start thinking 8-4 and 7-5. The only thing that kind of keeps you in check is Dave Aranda.
Yeah. Well, and he keeps you in every ball game. That's what we were saying. And
right.
And listen, there's no doubt him bringing Grant Delpit into the box and the second half adjustment that he made was the reason LSU beat Auburn. If you get a new defensive coordinator and a new offensive coordinator, now the Sharks that are in the water right now, TK and Mike, are going to perceive LSU as a program in a negative light, going in a bad direction. And guys, we don't have to tell everybody out there watching and listening tonight. Arkansas got a new hotshot coach. Mississippi State, I think, has got an excellent fit with Joe Moorhead. Jimbo's got all his money in the guarantee at Texas A&M. Nick is still around. Gus Malzahn.
Matt Luke did okay under the circumstances.
Mike, I mean, it's way too early for me to try to project a record for next year because there's too many things that are in a fluid situation. But it is going to be appreciably tougher in 18 than it was in 2017, guys.
There's no doubt. But I'm right. If you say right now, I'm going 8-4 right now. And my gut is sort of telling me you might should say 7-5.
Yeah, well.
Because I'm looking at Miami, Georgia, at Auburn, Alabama. I can easily say those 4 right now.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. It keeps us busy keeping up with this stuff. And TK, we are monitoring LSU and Kentucky right now, as all of you are watching and listening, and we'll give you updates in a little bit. Mike, let's talk a little bit about the actual number of coaches that Ed Orgeron has to bring in. So they add a 10th coach. When was that?
On January 10th.
January 10th, so in a week or so, okay? So we know, have you heard any more? Is it Greg McMahon a slam dunk, or is he going to talk to other people for special teams, which reared their ugly head again at the bowl game?
Yeah, everything I got was that. I mean,
that's a done
we've
deal.
been hearing that, but is that definitely how it's going to play out?
All right.
I think one of the things, when you hear today that Aranda's going, but it's not all about money, I think one of the things that Aranda, I was told a week or so ago, was that he wants one of the coaches, or he's wanting a staffer to help coach defensive backs. There's some things that he wants in his defense, and I think he wants Corey Raymond to have some help there. So, but then, a lot of this is hypothetical, and we're wanting to throw hammers at Orgeron if he loses Aranda. But but how does he make this staff go? And what will be Steve Ensminger's title next year? Is he going to have like a co-offensive coordinator thing? One guy's a passing game coordinator. Who's going to be the outside linebackers coach? It's all about to get interesting, and and some of those hires are vitally important because if you have a few more of some of the hires that we've seen, the staff starts to look DiNardo-esque.
Yeah. Well, not a lot said about the new O-line coach, Mike, so far. Have you gotten any info?
I've asked some people. I don't.
He's not here yet.
Yeah, I talked to our Tennessee guys, and he was only there for a year, but based off that 1 year, they wouldn't say he was a good recruiter. But I don't know if that's fair. So.
Well, he's supposed to arrive this weekend or close to that. Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com. Mike, 21 signees in the early signing period. They had to throw the kicker in there after at first, thinking they didn't have to do that. What's going on? Or is that all in a holding pattern because of all the talk of Canada and now Aranda?
Well, Kelvin Joseph could end up doing something at the U.S. Army game. But, it's Kelvin Joseph, Patrick Surtain, Mario Goodrich, and Jamar Chase. Those are the guys to watch. I don't believe there's going to be a quarterback in this class, so then we'll see what happens in the off season. But, again, that's why it's so important that whatever you do as far as the offensive coordinator, it doesn't look like a stopgap or a piece of duct tape. You've got to have something that looks very stable and something that is actually a magnet and will attract quarterbacks. Because if there is a graduate transfer, and I believe LSU needs one, there's competition for any of them that are any good.
Yeah. Mike, you've said
how attractive does LSU look for a one-year quarterback who wants to start and play somewhere?
Mike, you've said for many, many years LSU should sign at least one quarterback in every signing class. Right now, unless, as you just said, a junior college transfer comes in, it don't look like they got one coming in here in 2018.
Yeah. LSU has not had a good a coach who could recruit quarterbacks since Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
That's a fact.
Well, and here's the thing, folks. Miles Brennan, Lowell Narcisse, and Justin McMillan are going to be your only three scholarship quarterbacks, and I don't even know who will be a camp arm now that Caleb Lewis.
They'll find somebody.
I know, but still, look.
They can call Alan Traylor. He said he'd be the fourth guy.
The thing I'm getting is that if you were to say of what people have seen in scrimmages and this and that, if you were going to try and convince one of two quarterbacks to stay, it would be Caleb Lewis over Narcisse.
Yeah. Well,
but he's leaving. He's going up to Robert Morris.
Robert Morris. My point is, Mike, if you have an injury at quarterback, now you're talking about incredibly thin depth at that position, and we know that with the defenses and the ferocity of the people and the way they hit in the SEC, LSU's been lucky not to have Danny Etling hurt, and let's give Danny Etling the best.
In the Citrus Bowl, they're running him all over the place.
Well, and he's a tough-nosed guy, but you got to have a little luck. You got to have a little luck to not get your quarterback hurt in this league. So.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
So.
Bye, Mike.
We'll see what Miles Brennan looks like. I think in the short time that he was there, he was able to put on some muscle, and I have a feeling he's going to. I'd be shocked if he's probably not 10 or 15 pounds heavier come August. So he's going to need it.
Well, you look for that year 1 to year 2 growth in the body, the maturity, the experience, and hopefully that all factors in. And Brennan's a much better looking quarterback next August. Of course, you got spring practice right around the corner.
Now the other thing that we're hearing is that there hasn't been a whole lot of work done about recruiting the juniors, and what looked like a slam dunk a month ago as far as Will Clapp returning for his senior year, I'm not so sure that's a slam dunk anymore.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing that he's got to do now. He's got to recruit Will Clapp, Toby Weathersby, who a lot of people are telling me they think he's going to go. Will Clapp is probably 50-50. Dante Jackson and Kevin Tolliver. Tolliver played 3 plays in the bowl game. That doesn't really look good for him to come back. Dante, we all know, is going to have great measurables and test out unbelievable. But once again, he gives up some big plays, and LSU tackled poorly.
You got to go back a lot of years to see a defensive back who's given up more big plays than him.
And so, but they can lose another 4 or 5 players to the NFL. And Mike, I think it's a pretty foregone conclusion that Arden Key and Darius Geis, Key probably mid-first, and Geis maybe late first. Those guys are going to probably go. And so
I've always thought that the only guy that you could probably get to return was Clapp. And like I said, about a month ago, that looked like a slam dunk that he was coming back. Now, it doesn't look like it.
Hey, let's talk about, Mike, anybody else that is on the list besides those aforementioned guys. Are there any fallback guys? And obviously the question has to be asked about running backs. Is LSU done in this class with running backs? And if you had a guy that fell through out of those 4 you mentioned, would they be able to get him a quarterback?
Mike.
I don't see a quarterback. If they want one, I don't know. I don't see where they would get one. Even if they had a spot for Foster, I don't think Foster is interested.
Okay.
So.
And what about running backs? Are they done there?
Yeah, they're done at running back.
Okay.
All right, I'm getting a report that Canada has decided to remain at LSU according to the Advocate, but I'm pulling up the Advocate's website and it's not there yet.
You said Canada or you said Aranda?
Aranda.
Aranda, okay.
It's saying that according to at the Advocate BR, Dave Aranda is remaining with the Tigers, spurning A&M again. Multiple sources, but as I take a glance at the Advocate website online, it's not been updated to reflect that yet.
Yeah.
When I would think it would be.
In fact, Brian texted me, and he said at the ball game he was hearing reports that LSU thought that he was going to return, but then again, I'm sure there's some back and forth. I think we'll know for sure in a few hours whether
Ross Dellinger just tweeted that 2 minutes ago that Aranda is remaining with LSU.
That's great news for LSU football, in my opinion.
If that holds true, and look, that was, like I said, LSU felt like they gave him a fair offer. I know the family was a big part of that decision, but that's good news if that, in fact, now, what does that mean for Canada, Mike? When do you think something goes down with him?
Yeah, I don't know what the internal issues are there or what they have to do to get that all lined up the right way. But like I said, I don't see where they have to hurry.
Right, because they only have one offensive player they're working on, and that is Jamar Chase. Give us the latest rundown on when the guys are coming in with the next round of visits, Mike.
The 12th.
Okay, so that's
yeah, but I mean, again, it's there's going to be some additional official visitors that come in, but it's those 4 guys. So we're going to be talking about the same 4 guys for the next month.
All right, I'm looking at the tweet from Ross Dellinger 4 minutes ago. News: LSU DC, Dave Aranda is remaining with the Tigers, spurning Texas A&M again. Multiple sources tell the Advocate Baton Rouge.
Well, Ross, let me tell you, Ross has done a phenomenal job, and when he puts something out, I know, Mike, you believe in his legitimacy as well. He's usually
Ross is very good.
He's very good,
Very good.
And certainly the Houston Chronicle and the Daily Advertiser in your neck of the woods had put out earlier the opposite side. But
So now do we go back
Well,
to
that would be Glenn Gilbo.
Well, I mean, that's what he said as far as they both had that put out earlier that Aranda was going to Texas A&M.
All right, we got to go. I mean, we got to go back to Matt Canada now. And what I want to know, that binder that Orgeron's secretary made last year, what was in there in case Canada didn't work out?
I don't know, probably something involving kite string, Ouija boards, and magic 8 balls.
Well, I think that from a personnel standpoint, Steve Ensminger is your fallback guy. But they floated that out, Mike, and on your site and all of the shows and everywhere on social media, that was not necessarily a popular rumor.
Go get Rich Rod. He was offensive coordinator on the 1998 National Championship Tulane team.
You know, to me, the home run, if you're just
Dan Enos
bullet and give the $3 million, is Dan Enos.
Yeah, I like Dan Enos as well. He was at Arkansas with Brett Bielema.
That'd be a good one.
And you get Michael Smith to come with him.
Yeah, and
get Bielema.
Well, no, Bielema's not going to come work over here with Oat. I think that.
I was being funny, buddy.
Yeah, no, he's getting paid a bunch of money. He's going to take a year off.
He's going to the beach.
Yeah, I mean, with that wife.
With that wife, you got to go to the beach.
Well, there's nothing ever too boring over here. Once again, TK, if you could give them the breaking news. We've been doing live TV. We're watching LSU, Kentucky, talking recruiting with Mike Scarborough, and been following these coordinators ever since the bowl game. And according to Ross Dellinger, the advocate, we do have good news.
Handful of minutes ago, Ross Dellinger, who's as good as it gets, reported that multiple sources have said Aranda will stay at LSU. Now, until it comes from LSU, I'm going to put a lot of weight behind Dellinger, and then we'll cement it if LSU makes that announcement.
And let's have a little fun, guys. Mike, all right, show us your wisdom. What do you think they ended up giving him?
I wouldn't be surprised if he got bumped up a couple of $100,000.
2.2.
I bet he's getting some concessions as far as defensive staff. Off the field help, and we'll see what ends up happening once the staff gets solidified. But I think that there's personnel stuff that he wanted on his side of the ball.
Look,
they had to give him a box of Manda sausage, green onion.
Hey, let me tell you what. I think Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats would give him all the spicy sausage that he would want. I think normally the progression would be 2.2, but the way Joe pays, I'm going to say...
then it's 6.2.
No, I'm going to say he got 2.4, and I think...
Time will tell.
Well, time will tell. We'll find that out, but I think if he stays, he'll get 2.4, and I think he's worth every penny in relation to where he fits on his staff. And Mike, you know this because you've seen it on your board all day. There would have been a mass panic and catastrophe syndrome. The shrinks would have been overloaded for the next 2 weeks if Dave Aranda had left LSU.
It was like that.
And keep in mind, until LSU says it, things can change.
Yeah, but Ross
I got total confidence in Ross Dellinger.
He generally doesn't
When
put
Ross
stuff
didn't
out there.
report that he is definitely staying. He's saying according to sources he's staying.
Brian texted me the same thing, that he
Okay.
was hearing at the basketball game that they thought that they had convinced him to stay. But Mike, it's been a fluid situation, and like TK says, we'll wait for the release. But I think all of us agree that he was the guy that you had to keep. Now, what you do with Canada and the offensive coordinator, Mike, is LSU going to have money to find a new guy, or do they fall back with Coach Ensminger?
It's he's done.
Enos.
Canada's gone, and then we hear Ensminger's going to be the guy. Then we hear no, Ensminger's not going to be the guy. But then I'm like, okay, well then are they playing a semantics game? And is it going to be a co-offensive coordinator deal? I think one thing that I kind of feel that's probably certain is that Ensminger won't just be a tight ends coach next season. I think there's going to be another title and more duties that he's going to have. I could be wrong, but everything, I got too many people saying that that's probably going to be the case. So, I got Kentucky people messaging me last night asking about Eddie Gran because they're getting nervous up there about him. So, we'll see how it plays out.
Updated text from Ross Dellinger. You can expect a tweet. You can expect LSU's Dave Aranda to be college football's first assistant to make over $2 million a year. The Tigers swooped in mid-morning, battled Texas A&M's latest offer, and kept their man. That's being tweeted by Ross Dellinger 3 minutes ago.
Very good.
And it's definitely going to be over $2 million. And look, I hate to justify it like this, but if Canada was given 1.5, Dave Aranda should have been made a 2.5. I'm doing 2.5. I think he's going to be 2.3 to 2.4. I really do.
Mike, tell everybody what's happening at TigerBait.com. I mean, now's the time, if you hadn't been there, to get there. Get a subscription. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, go to TigerBait.com. Our Tiger Den premium message board is, we really are proud of our Tiger Bait community. A lot of great posters. And, if you're an LSU fan, you're going to love the site. We've got all your recruiting coverage, game coverage. Brian's, of course, there at the PMAC. So we've got your football, basketball, and recruiting coverage at TigerBait.com.
Hey, I know this is not your expertise, Mike, but just on a generalized question and scale here, what kind of recruiter is Will Wade, and what does he have for this next signing period, and where do you see him with his apex? How far can he take
He's just a high-energy
LSU basketball?
guy and mature beyond his years, and he's highly charismatic. That's a big deal. And he's not afraid to go up against the big boys, and he'll flat out tell you that if he's going to play against Kentucky, he's got to recruit the same players that they recruit. So he's not going to back down from anybody. So he's one of the nation's best recruiters.
This kid that was implicated with an accusation with some baggage off the floor, he got cleared, Emmett Williams. Do you know if they're going to get back on him?
I have not heard anything that leads. I need to get an update on him. I want to hold off on that.
By the way, folks, down in the last 3 minutes, it is neck and neck with Kentucky and LSU, a tremendous game. And you know what excites me the most, TK and Mike? Will Wade, and I talked to some people that were at the meeting, the six-man club before the game, was incredibly charismatic, as you mentioned, confident, but basketball is back, and that crowd is lit up. And I guarantee you, if LSU can pull out this victory, the PMAC and the Death Dome is going to be back. Mike, I remember the days when me and you had that machine that would kind of give us a decibel level.
Like last week, we were watching the LSU at Memphis, and it reminded me of the Memphis the regional that was in Baton Rouge in '86, and I was there.
Yeah.
And that was that Memphis game when Anthony Wilson picked the ball up off the floor to win it. That was the equivalent of the earthquake game.
Yeah.
I assure you, the decibel reading, if you would have been taking a reading that night, was every bit as loud as the earthquake game with how loud that crowd was. And to me, it's always been there's no excuse for LSU basketball not to always be like that.
Mike, here, check this out. Dave Aranda, $2.5 million a year for 4 years, all guaranteed.
Come on.
All guaranteed. $10 million.
What did Buddy Man tell you? It'd be in the 2.5 range.
Buddy, you are the guru.
No, I'm not the guru.
Buddy is the guru, Mike.
Mike,
we need to get Buddy to make us a binder.
No, my binder's not as in-depth as that other one that's been used. But look, folks, sleep well tonight. This is, look, I said it. He's worth every penny. And
here's a quote from Ed Orgeron. Dave is very instrumental here with what we're building at LSU. He's one of the best defensive minds in all of football. He's an even better person. We're looking forward to him being at LSU for many years to come. A quote already released by Ed Orgeron, that's cemented.
But hold on, here's one kicker, guys. There's one little kicker. You may have missed it. Read that contract again.
Guaranteed.
For how long?
4 years.
How much?
2.5. That's 4 times. That's 10.
Okay, but my point is that guaranteed for 4 years. What happens if Coach O gets the axe? Would they ever?
Well, I haven't read the contract yet, buddy.
I know, but what I'm saying is, could they? And I thought about this on the way over here. Could they have told this guy, you may be a coach in waiting if it doesn't work out for O?
Well, before all this stuff happened today, if you would have said, what's Randa's aspirations, or what? I've thought for months that 18 would be his last year at LSU and he'd go to the NFL.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, time will tell.
Yeah, Orgeron needs him, even if it is for one more year. He's got to have it.
No doubt about it.
TigerBait.com. Thank you so much. We'll visit next week.
Well, all right, looking forward to it.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back as we get through the end of this Tiger basketball thing. Down 2, under a minute to go. They have a break on the floor. We'll have a break on the Roar. Stay with us. Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com.
6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm back. Roger Cador here. Come watch Clarence Bugs and I as we team up to bring up all of the positive things taking place at Southern University in the state of Louisiana. It can all be seen on the Pelican Sports. That's the best one. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's the best one.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hooper Road Car Care in Central has been serving customers for over 24 years. Locally owned by Donald and Gina Gaspard, they provide all types of car care, including brakes, alignment, tune-ups, oil changes, AC service, transmission, computer diagnostic, and much more. Hooper Road Car Care also provides towing services. Call 225-262-7127. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, 9695 Hooper Road in Central.
We continue with the Pelican Sports post-game show / Tigers Roar. You know the drill. Hey, LSU players, we got a lot of comments after the loss to Notre Dame in the Citrus Bowl. Want to share that with you now. Here's some of those Tiger football players after the game, 21-17 loss to Notre Dame down in Orlando.
Were you guys lobbying to go for it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, us being hotheads and everything, O-line was, begging her to go for it, but it's the right move. You got to take points at that time of the game.
Will, the field goal struggles the team, just this year in general, today, how frustrating is that when you're still on the sideline after moving it down and you can't make it?
But I think it was a smart choice.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating, but, you know, I can't say where they're at because I've never kicked. I'll never kick, so, you know, it's just something that we got to work on in the offseason.
Is that something you being a player can relate to more than just like a guy sitting at home cursing a kicker? Like, you know that they do work at it. You know that it's, you know, they're trying.
Yeah, I get 70-some plays a game to, make my point, have plus and minuses. They get 5 snaps a game to have a plus or a minus. So obviously people notice more when they mess up than when I do. You know, they're in a rough spot, and I feel for them.
But we just things that cost us a lot of our lanes sometimes. And it just kind of happen like that.
What was your perspective on the touchdown pass? Freshman pass.
Yeah, we didn't get enough pressure on it. You know, people gonna look at Dante, but put it on the defensive line. We'll take the blame. We didn't get enough pressure on it in a key moment, and it cost us.
I thought this was Ed Alexander's best game. What would you say about the way he played and his future maybe going forward?
Oh, Ed, the last part of the season, Ed's been playing probably the best on the defensive line. What he's doing, going against the center and the guards and everything, he has a chance to be a first rounder. And I mean that truly. The way this strength and power, what he does, he's going to be a first rounder.
When Coach decides to kick a field goal at the end of the game, he's basically saying he's putting it on you guys. What did he come down and tell you guys at that point?
Nothing. You know, he didn't have to tell us anything. It was on us. We had our chances. You know, we missed a couple field goals and all that, but at the end of the day, the defense was on the field, up 3, and we didn't finish. So that hurts us. That's on us, and it's not on coach, it's on us.
How do you take that for motivation going into the offseason? Is this something you remember until y'all kick off against Miami?
I mean, we got to look at all the film from this year. You know, we've had an up and down year. We bounced back very strong in the later part of the season, but we got to do a lot of house cleaning, and, we're going to get better.
Well, at the end, he's basically telling you guys he's putting it on y'all. Do y'all, I mean, obviously they end up scoring a touchdown, but do you like it when he decides, hey, I'm putting it on you guys?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we just got to execute. I mean, you just can't catch us lacking. It's crazy because we've been pretty perfect, most of the night, and then we blink our eyes, one play, and a touchdown. So,
what was on that play? Was it just
probably lack of focus? I mean, I don't know. It had nothing to do with me. So, I mean, I could have rushed better, but I mean, I think that's a question for somebody else, you know what I'm saying? I don't know the coverage, I don't know what happened wrong, actually.
Only 6 points left on the board. How much does this one hurt?
Yeah, that hurt. I mean, to the fact that, we probably would have won if we kicked the field goals. It would have been a different game, but, it's over now. What can you say, I'm just blessed to have another game with my brothers and get ready to go to the next level.
It is over for you. Yeah. How does have you had a chance to kind of think about that?
Oh yeah, man. It hit me pretty hard after the game, and I think at this point all I can do is keep my head down and start working.
Put in our defense, they've been playing well all game. I thought we had missed opportunities early in the game. I thought we were in on the sneak, When I saw it kind of cross, but there's a huge pile, so you can't really overturn it. So I understood that, but I thought I was in on that one. Not gonna lie, because I saw it. I saw the plane be breaking it. There's a whole bunch of bodies, so there's no way they could have seen it happen. So they might have had to just call that one in the field. But yeah, you just kick the field goal there, get the points, and try and get your defense go get a win.
Was that the first half you're talking about?
Yeah, the first half. Yeah, the first half quarterback sneak. I thought we got in on that one.
So you had 2 times where you had close calls on the goal line.
Yeah.
Tough to take.
Yeah, those suck. I thought the second one obviously we were short, but I thought the first one we really got in, so that was unfortunate.
I guess what's the emotion like for you now? This is your last game.
It's okay. I played as hard as I could. I left it all out there. I don't think anyone was not playing hard. It was just unfortunate we came up short. We shot ourselves in the foot too many times. That's what happened on that entire game. We played hard. We executed actually pretty well until, just 1 or 2 plays every drive, whether it's a false start that puts us 5 yards back, and all of a sudden you get in a tougher situation, or you're at the 1 inch yard line and you're going for it and you false start again. So those are issues that you have to cancel out of your game, and some things that you can't do if you want to go win a game.
Then you practice against these DBs all the time. How difficult is it to do what Notre Dame did? That long last catch.
Yeah, it's tough. We have some great defensive backs, and we have some great receivers too. So it's always a competitive atmosphere whenever we go against each other. And obviously, they went up and made a play, and then that was that. But and I think it was just that those guys making a play. I don't think it was any effort thing or a bad position. This guy made a play, and we weren't able to make the play against him.
To end your career like this, I mean, how do you handle it emotionally?
I'm okay. I played as hard as I could. I'm not going to look back on anything and think I should have done this, I could have done that. I mean, I feel like I really left it all out there. Just unfortunately come short. You can sleep pretty well at night knowing you gave it your all, and just unfortunate how everything kind of turned out.
How do you want to be remembered when you think of LSU fans remembering you?
I don't know yet. I think I'd like to be remembered as just someone that, you know, when kids look at it, that someone enjoyed the game, loved the game of football. Maybe just every single person that, you know, watching me play says, hey, I wish, you know, we had every single player play like that. Or we had every kid with that kind of heart. Or if we had, you know, a dad watching or a mom watching says, hey, I want my son to play like Danny does or compete like Danny does. And that's, I think, all I kind of go and stream out there to do. And everything else just kind of comes with it.
Tried to come away with it again. Guy made a play, 50-50. Proud of this team. I'm proud of the way we fought.
Have you been involved in a game with so many close calls on the goal line? I mean, it seemed like at least two, huh?
I have not.
Notre Dame's last, that touchdown pass. Where were you at? What's going through your head as you're watching somebody catch a one-hander like that?
I was about 6 yards away from it on the sideline. I thought there might have been a call, might have been a no call. Not sure, but I mean, guy made an incredible catch, really good play, man coverage. The guy just made a play, 50-50 chance, and he came away with it. Congratulations to him.
When you look at the big picture after this year, what's kind of the future for this program?
Future's bright. The future's bright. We're coming along. We had a lot of injuries throughout the year. I'm proud of our young guys. I'm proud of our seniors, and I'm just upset that we couldn't send them out the right way, the way that those guys deserve to go out.
One of those guys, Danny. I mean, obviously his last game here. What can you say just about what he's done these last 2 years, 3 years, really?
I mean, the guy gives everything for this team. And he's always given everything, from when he was a scout team player to when he was a backup to when he started. He's given everything he has, and I'm so proud of that guy. I'm proud to know him, much less be his roommate, call him a friend. And he, despite what people think, he's going to be a really good quarterback at the next level, just because he just cares 100%. He lives, breathes, dies football. Really proud of that guy. Really proud of all of our seniors. Just didn't get the job done.
How frustrating is that?
It was frustrating. I think we did a few good things on special teams. We recovered a fumble. We had a few miscues that we couldn't account for, but like I said, they're gonna bounce back.
Just this team moving forward, what do you see? A lot of guys needing to fill and improve.
This team is full of talent, like LSU has always been. And I think in the future they got a lot of experience coming that way. And they're going to do real good, I think, next year coming up. Things they're going to work on in practice. Coach O does a great job with young guys coming in, and I think they're going to be very good next year.
Coach said that fourth down earlier in the game may have made the difference in not calling, going for the touchdown late in the ball game. What are your thoughts about kicking the field goal instead of going for the score?
We needed points, and I'm behind Coach O. We needed points. Their offense didn't show that they were, just completely dropping the ball on our defense. We knew that our defense could hold. And they just made the plays.
What happened out there defensively late in the game?
I thought we did very well in the beginning. Halftime, nobody allowed a touchdown. I thought we were doing very well, especially stopping the run. I thought, they started throwing the ball more, they put 12 in.
and he had a couple good deep balls, and that last one at the end was just a great finish.
So what did he do 12 when he came in? What did he offer?
Well, I know with 7, he's more of a runner, and for us, we were kind of expecting to draw, quarterback draw a lot, so we weren't really trying to rush. Really just trying to protect the draw. With 12, we knew that going into that he's going to try to throw it more. That's why they brought him in. And, I thought he made more plays with his arms than he did running the ball.
Do you think did you guys start to get a little tired there in the fourth quarter, or was it just execution?
Just execution. We had some mishaps, and we just didn't get the job done.
Welcome back. You got to hear from some of them Tiger football players, and it is a final score from the Pete Maravich's Assembly Center in front of a big crowd. LSU goes down 74-71. That's a final. Kentucky now 2-0 in league play. They beat Georgia a few days ago. LSU 0-1, about to hit the road for a couple of games.
Outstanding game. I'm sure Will Wade will lament the fact that his guys missed some shots and had some plays down the stretch that they certainly could have executed a little bit better. If you missed it, Tremont Waters, who is just a phenomenal young guard, is a guy that TK leaned in, thought he was going to get the foul call. The Kentucky guy did not go to block it. He just stood there, didn't get the call, just grazed the rim. It was out on Kentucky. They put 0.8 seconds back on the clock. Brandon Sampson missed a three-pointer at the buzzer. LSU loses by 3, but I guarantee you this fan base is all in on Will Wade and the direction he's got the LSU basketball program going.
Well, and here's the other thing, too. Now they go on the road Saturday to play Texas A&M, who got knocked off by Florida at home the other night. So the Aggies will be hungry. So maybe LSU can get over there against New Orleans native Billy Kennedy and get something done. Well, we'll just have to wait.
A&M struggling right now.
Yeah. Florida clocked them by 16 or 17 points in College Station. All right, we're going to take a break, come back with much, much more. We got to talk about that Rose Bowl, that Sugar Bowl, and, buddy, your New Orleans Saints, a little playoff action coming up Sunday. We'll come back with more of the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show on Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, all over the world on the internet, and, of course, WUBR, CBS Sports Radio, Baton Rouge. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 800-383-8177. 800-383-8177.
My name is Dr. Nicole Rogers, and I'm here in Old Metairie, Louisiana at Hair Restoration of the South, where your hair is our care. And I'd like to invite you to come and visit and discuss various options for treatment of thinning hair. These can include both medical and surgical options. You don't have to go straight to surgery. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, hairrestorationofthesouth.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Spread the roar. That's right, Tigers Roar. Each Wednesday night at 8 p.m., Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans. Replays are Thursday through Saturday, and the show is available at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Tommy Chrysan and Jordy Holtberg will have the latest on LSU football, LSU sports, and sports from across Louisiana. Spread the roar. Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
Hearing stuff about Les Miles at Arizona. I don't know if that's done. His name's been, there was supposed to be mutual interest, whatever the heck that means.
Well, that means they wanted to talk to him and he wanted to talk to them. I hope Coach Miles gets the gig in Arizona. I think it would be a better fit than some of the other places. But TK, let's be honest. It's going to be tough for him and Herm Edwards over at Arizona State.
We don't know that he's there. But, they're checking the verify.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's tough to revive a program when you're 63, 4 years old. But, hey, what a Rose Bowl and what a Sugar Bowl. And, TK, who would have thunk it where the SEC has both teams in the final game?
Well, buddy, we talked about the Citrus Bowl. Let's talk about the Rose Bowl. One of the greatest college football games ever played. A lot of talent on that field on both sidelines. Two unbelievable programs, a Heisman Trophy winner, I mean, a first-year coach, a second-year coach. I mean, we can go on and on. But what a game, what a football game, double overtime, so many incredible plays, the teams, Georgia down and coming back. I mean, oh, man, what a football game. And the Georgia Bulldogs end up winning and put themselves in Atlanta for the national championship. Your thoughts on the Rose Bowl?
Well, I agree 100%. By far, it was the best football game I watched this year and one of the greatest ever, no doubt about it. You know, you talk about Georgia going to the Rose Bowl. Did you see the fan support that they had? They're all in with Kirby, and he did an incredible job. Here's the key thing to me, TK, and it sounds silly, but their kicker makes a 55-yarder right before half to cut the deficit to 14. They were 17 down, and Kirby Smart was really smart because whatever he said in the locker room, he tried to keep his guys poised. Georgia did not look like the Georgia that we've seen the last month. They were a little sluggish, and let's talk about Baker Mayfield and the Oklahoma offense. Lincoln Riley, he is going to be around for a long time. He is an offensive brain genius. But to come back from 17 and then to go back and forth and invariably win at 54-48 in double overtime. Folks, by the way, in case you haven't realized it, both teams that are playing for the Big Dorita, the national championship next Monday night, are coming to Tiger Stadium in 2018.
Yeah, and one other thing too, buddy. Buddy, listen closely. You hear that whining? That's the Auburn fans because they beat both of these teams.
They did. That kickoff is 7:15, and that will be Monday night. Look, I learned my lesson. When we saw Alabama this year, and LSU really was physical against Bama and knocked out 3 or 4 of their players. We all know about their injuries, but one thing about it, and I know your good buddy Anthony Gallo reminded you, as all those Alabama people reminded me, when you give Nick Saban a month, and he is familiar with the team, he is pretty darn special. Oh, by the way, you know what his record is against pupils, coaches?
11-0.
11-0, good
Never
number.
been close to 14.
And so
14-point victory was the closest.
Well, and by the way, Alabama hadn't lost to Georgia in 10 years. The last time was 2007. The last 3 times they played Georgia, Alabama beat them. That being said, though, for Georgia to get there with second-year Kirby Smart and to be able to sustain that incredible offense. Now, Oklahoma doesn't have much defense, but really, truly, I could watch that game over and over again. It was truly special. But
no
TK.
doubt. Now, moving on to the Sugar Bowl, Clemson's a good football team, okay? There's no question. And I have come to like Dabo Swinney. I wasn't wild about him years ago, but I mean, now I got the utmost respect, and obviously he does a great job over there with his program. And it was just Alabama's night. Even though Bama made a few mistakes, missed a couple field goals, that Bama defense was the difference in that game. And they took care of Clemson. Clemson might have missed Deshaun Watson a little bit. But anyway, it's all said and done. Alabama will advance to Atlanta to take on Georgia in an all-SEC final.
And once again, they got all of their troops on defense healed up. Boy,
but now they lost another one. Anthony's out.
Yeah.
Jennings is out for the game.
He is, but they were at full strength basically for the game. They did have a couple of injuries. Jalen Hurts is an athlete playing quarterback. We all know that. And the way you beat Alabama is you get ahead on them, and then you shut them down running, and you make them pass to beat you. And Clemson couldn't do that. And it's weird that Nick Saban said the same thing about the game that I said, and he knows a lot more about it because he's been involved in it. But as soon as the kickoff in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game, I said to some people, text message, and to myself, this smells like LSU, Alabama, January 9th, 2012, when they just wrecked LSU 21-0 with the Mulligan game. Now, you know, Nick had a good point here, TK. He was griping because they didn't get done in the Superdome. They kicked off at 7:45, so they didn't get done until midnight. By the time they get the kids to the hotel and all, you got to feed them after the game. They're not getting back to Tuscaloosa until Tuesday morning. They got to prepare to play a game and travel to Atlanta. Georgia was on the West Coast and had to come all the way back home. So he's probably thinking that they could use another day to get over the semis and with the travel and all. They got to be in Atlanta for interviews on Friday. So this is a quick turnaround. But one of the things I had to say on my radio show today and the last couple of days is that Georgia is the one that ought to be complaining because Alabama didn't play in the championship game.
Well, and Saban pointed that out.
Okay, well, as long as he pointed it out, it's fair because let me tell you what, they got the Mulligan again this year. This could be 2 national championships that Nick Saban and Alabama wins and didn't win the SEC championship.
And, of course, that has stirred up a lot of conversation about should they expand the playoff and all that, and we'll save that for another day.
Not yet.
We'll save that for another day. You can't have a knee-jerk reaction. You got to let some time go by. Same thing with the early signing period. I mean, there was, a lot that came out of it. You got to see it again, and then determine if it needs to be tweaked or if it's good the way it is or if they need to get rid of it. I mean, but you got to give it a window of time, get a better snapshot, and go from there. So it's Alabama, Clemson, Monday night, 7:15.
No, Alabama, Georgia.
Alabama, Georgia, Monday night, 7:15, kickoff Louisiana time for the national championship. And it's the 4 seed versus the 3 seed. Georgia will wear red. They're the higher seed. Bama will wear white. You want to make an early call, buddy, or do we want to save that for radio stuff? I want to save mine.
Okay, you save yours. I don't know right now. I just think that Jake Fromm has played incredibly mature for a true freshman. But right now, with Alabama beating Georgia 3 in a row and Nick 11-0 against the pupil, I couldn't go against Saban. I picked Clemson and felt like an idiot. I thought Kelly Bryant was lost some of his elbow. He's short arming so many passes. They literally frustrated him and made him look like a totally different guy, and he can't hold a candle to Deshaun Watson. But obviously, Saban is going to try to fluster the true freshman quarterback. And Georgia, by the way, still has Jacob Eason, and they got Justin Fields, one of the best in the country this year. So give Kirby a lot of credit. He learned under
Eason's
Nick.
Going to transfer.
He learned, he learned under Nick, and he's doing one heck of a job, folks. The SEC with all these new coaches and Kirby and Nick, man, it's going to be mighty tough in 2018.
And an interesting thought: Jake Fromm, about 12, 13 months ago, was playing high school football. Think about it that way.
Yeah,
wow.
sure.
Hey, we got to get our final break in. You see the score on your screen. We'll come back, kick a few things around, summarize everything for you on a busy edition of the post-game show / Tigers Roar. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Facebook page is Pelican Broadcasting. Twitter account at Pelican Sports. YouTube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Buddy Sanji, Tommy Chrysan, we're back with the final segment right after this pause on Pelican Sports TV and WUBR, CBS Sports Radio, Baton Rouge. Stay with us. Accord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Accord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including OptiMap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Accord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Accord Eye Clinic Vision Source.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Spread the roar. That's right, Tigers Roar. Each Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans. Replays are Thursday through Saturday, and the show is available at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Tommy Chrysan and Jordy Holtberg will have the latest on LSU football, LSU sports, and sports from across Louisiana. Spread the roar. Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Wow, what a Wednesday night, Bud, man. After a wild and crazy first couple of days of January, still a lot to be done for LSU football in the month of January, the signing day, February 7th. Let's kind of recap here. First, let's talk LSU basketball. The Tigers lose tonight, 74-71. Kentucky wins the game. LSU 9-4 overall, 0-1 in league play. At Texas A&M Saturday, at Arkansas next Wednesday before coming back home on the 13th. So a couple of road games against two really good teams. But LSU was impressive. You see the double-double by Duop Reith. They were impressive against Kentucky. John Calipari saying after the game, Reith was a very good player, and he's glad they don't have to play LSU again. That's off of their schedule. Your thoughts on the game tonight and the upcoming games for Will Wade?
It was a game of runs and flow, and unfortunately, LSU just picked a bad time. They were up at 6 and a couple of points in the second half, and then Kentucky made some shots. Tigers got a little wild with some of their shot selection and didn't exactly play the way Coach Wade wanted. The last shot, he was trying to draw the foul, but Kentucky was smart, did not get the foul, and so look, a very young team. I think that everybody that went to that game has to come out of the feeling that I'm glad I got my season tickets, and I think the Depth Dome is back, and I think nothing but great things. I don't know what his record will be this year, but TK, this guy is the real deal, and Will Wade is going to bring back some greatness back to that Pete Maravich Assembly Center. Tough one tonight, but maybe the way it played out at the end, that might help them win a game down the road, TK.
Yeah, it could very well do that. So still a long way to go. Keep in mind, no East and West Division. They stack them all in there in men's basketball in the SEC. And repeating the top story, it's official. Dave Aranda will remain at LSU. Defensive coordinator reported $2.5 million a year guaranteed for 4 years. That's $10 million. Even I can do that math, but that's very good for the program in a lot of ways as we sit here in the early part of January. Still to be resolved, Matt Canada, but Coach Orgeron released a statement thanking Joe Oliva, thanking F. King Alexander for making this happen and keeping Dave Aranda wearing purple and gold.
And look, we want to once again thank all of the people that not only produce the show and make us available on TV to look as good as we can, seeing that we're two radio guys that have faces and bodies made for radio more so than TV. But you see what we give you. We give you passion. We give you real actual feelings. And look, we're not going to be cheerleaders, but we all know that Baton Rouge is a better place when LSU Athletics is doing great things. Tip of the hat for them to guarantee Dave Aranda and keep him. It was a bullet that they had to dodge. If this had been the wrong way with A&M, TK, it would have been a tough week or so.
We talk about the fine line. If they beat Notre Dame, it's a different Tuesday and Wednesday. If they lose Aranda to A&M, it's a different Thursday and Friday. So that's how thin it can be in the big business known as college football. No question about that. So that's what we have. Still some things to be done, certainly. Catch all the local guys on the radio. They'll keep you up to date with everything. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcast and the whole bit. Buddy, it's another year in the books. 11th year of a post-game show on Pelican Sports TV. A couple of twists and turns through the 11 years, but we're here. And we thank all the folks who watch on the internet, listen on the radio, the smartphone, the apps, the whole bit. We appreciate all that good stuff. And, of course, everybody at Pelican that contributes to make this thing happen. We appreciate it. Most importantly, those who watch and listen.
Yeah, appreciate the job you do, and Marty and Alan and Bert and everybody.
Jonathan and Adam.
And Adam in the truck. And look, we appreciate the loyalty. TK, I know you hear it a bunch, and you're on social media a lot more than I am, but we appreciate the thousands who watch us and appreciate the job that we try to do from the heart, what we're feeling, and we try to keep you up with the scoop. And this was breaking. This was a lot of fun tonight to watch basketball and have the breaking story with Aranda. We're going to call it the way we see it, but we couldn't do it without you out there, radio and TV, and for that we're much indebted.
Buddy is the guru. I'm giving Buddy a homework assignment for next year's post-game show. I need a binder with a plan.
Okay.
All right? I need a binder from you, buddy.
It'll be about this
I need a binder for the plan for next year's post-game show here on Pelican Sports TV and WUBR. Again, Buddy said it very well. We thank all of you on behalf of everybody here at the Pelican. A lot of people to put this together. Most importantly, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will talk to you again soon.